Hello 7th graders and welcome to your first notes video. Today we're going to be covering absolute value and integer. By the end of this lesson you should be able to define both absolute value and integer and explain the difference. You can download the PDF off Canvas and fill in the blank and follow along with the notes, or you can write in your notebook as long as you write down definition of absolute value and integer. So let's start with absolute value. A number line is a way to show the distance between numbers. The absolute value is the distance between a number and 0. In this example, absolute value is represented by, well, a boat, a fish, an anchor, and there's a bird 2 feet from the surface. So using that vertical number line on the left, we are going to describe the position of the boat, the fish, the anchor, and the bird, using the numbers on the number line. So the boat is right at the water, which if we're looking at that vertical number line, the water is at 0. So the boat is 0 feet from the surface of the water because it's on the surface of the water. The fish looks like it's about at -3 feet. So we're going to say the fish is at -3. He matches up about right there. And then the anchor is at -5 feet, 5 feet from the surface. And the bird is 2 feet from the surface. That one's done for us too. Now if we're thinking absolute value, distance can't really be negative. So the absolute value of all those numbers, the boat is still, the distance is 0, absolute value of 0 is 0. But the fish is 3 feet from the surface. So when we're saying distance, we don't say -3. Just like when we're saying absolute value, we're not going to say the negative. So the absolute value of -3 is 3. Absolute value of -5 is 5. So the anchor is 5 feet from the surface. And the bird is 2 feet from the surface. So that's just 2. All right, this bottom part has a chart. And it says graph the points on the table to determine the absolute value. So if we start with -7, -7 on that number line is right here. It's still 7 points from 0, so the absolute value is 7. +7 is over here, and it's 7 points from 0, so the absolute value of +7 is 7. All right, pause the video, see if you can fill out those last 3. All right, I'll fill them out. Absolute value of 3 is 3. Absolute value of -6 is +6. Absolute value of -1 is 1. So these are the absolute value symbols, the bar on either side of a number, and absolute value is expressed as a positive number because it is the distance from 0. All right, next topic for today is integers. Integers are positive and negative whole numbers. And they are often shown on what's that picture in the middle? A number line. Now again, you can be writing these in your notebook or download the PDF from Canvas and follow along in Notability. So looking at that number line they have set up for us, negative integers are less than 0 and positive integers are greater than 0. Notice 0 is neither a negative nor positive integer. It is still an integer. All right, so some real-world examples of where we might see integers. The first thing that comes to my mind living in Minnesota is temperature, partly because a thermometer looks like a vertical number line, and also because we have negative temperatures here. So I'm going to write in the real-world example box, temperature. Now take a minute and see if you can think of where you might see integers in real life. All right, some more things I thought of are depth, like in our absolute value example, we have water depth, and that could also be distance or height. You could think of it as like gain and loss in football, like in yards. You could also think of it as money, so like profit, cost, that kind of thing. All right, so let's practice a little bit. And we're looking at this bottom box where it says compare using less than, greater than, and equal to. Hopefully you remember what those signs are from other grades. Otherwise, this is less than, this is greater than, and this is equal to. I'll also say what they are while we're writing them. All right, so in the first one, we have -5 and -3. Now, -5 is going to be further to the left on the number line from -3. That means it's less than. So -5 is less than -3. If -5 is less than -3, -100 is going to be way further from 0, which means -100 is also less than 3. All right, in the third problem, we have 0 and 12. Now, 0 is right here, where -12 is also going to be somewhere way over there. So -12 is less than 0. How we write this, the way they have it set up, is 0 is greater than -12. All right, last one, we have 8 and -6. +8 is greater than -6. All right, that second part says arrange in order from least to greatest. See if you can do that by yourself and check it with the number line. All right, this is actually a page from your textbook where we talk about integers a little more. So that first part says, understand integers. The example, a diver descended 20 meters. We're going to write that as -20. Decide whether the integer is positive or negative. Because the diver descended, it went down, it's going to be negative. That's why we write -20. All right, so under that it says write an integer to represent each situation. An elevator ride down 27 stories. The key word here is down, so we're going to write -27. All right, the second one, a $700 profit. Keyword here is profit. That means you make money, that means it's positive. So we're just going to write 700. All right, pause the video, see if you can do 3 and 4 by yourself. Then play the video to check and see if you got it right. All right, number 3 says 46 degrees below 0, keyword below 0. So we're going to write -46. And then number 4 says a gain of 12 yards. Keyword is a gain, so it's +12. All right, second section, whole number operations. We are actually going to save this for the 1.1 lesson. Today's assignment is to get a SMART score of 80 or higher on both IXL skill H6 and B6. Make sure when you practice IXL that you are practicing the 7th grade skills. If you need help with the username and password, please feel free to email me. And thanks for tuning into the notes video today.